Hello, I am Jacqueline, the Self Love Diva, and in today's video, we're going to discuss the power of setting goals, self love goals specifically, and how you can set goals that will inspire you to get you to achieve them and have an amazing life. And this is how we do it. Most of us set goals of all the things we have to do, should do, and that's okay. The career, the lifestyle, the relationship goals, the spiritual goals, the family goals, all that, very important. But in this video, we're going to discuss self-love goals, which you could use the tactics we're going to talk about today in other areas, but I'm focusing on self-love. Self-love diva. Duh. Anyway, so bottom line is most people just set goals based on a logical, rational mind of what they should do, could do, what they should obtain. For instance, by in the year 2020, I need to achieve X amount of money a year or a month, or I need this to achieve this car, this thing, or whatever it is they want. And they come from an external goal setting rather than really internal and tap into what they really want. And from a point of being as what they should do for other people and external goals. But in this video, we're going to focus on the power of setting MVP goals as being the most valuable person in your life because you are the most valuable person. So you're the MVP and you're setting goals from that standpoint. What's important to you and focusing on self-love. So this is how it goes. Most people set goals and forget about them. And that's why, because at the end, after a couple of weeks or a couple of months, the goals are gone and done. But what we're going to do is we're going to ink them. So when you ink them, schedule them in now. And that way you have a framework of how to work and when to do things and guidelines and deadlines and things like that. So one of the things they do is they set them and forget about them. Another thing they do that isn't very productive is that they set goals from a logical, rational mind without really tapping into what they really want and what's really important to them and the why. The why is huge. So when you set goals, don't just say, I want this, I want that. The important thing is the feeling behind the logical, rational goal that you set is why. Make a lot of leverage. Why do you want this? How would this make you feel from the inside, from the outside, and all around? So what is it that you really want and why? And the more leverage you add to it, the more power you add to it because it gives you more inspiration and motivation and to make it happen. So set the intention, set the goal, write it down, have a lot of clear goals that are leverage oriented and in the positive, of course. And what you do after that is when you're setting the goals down, you sit down to write goals. Instead of just thinking, what do I need? What do I want? Just logical. What you do is maybe you put some crystals or put nice soft music or binaurals or you put and crystals and beautiful lighting and just sit down and just focus on tapping into your inner soul, what you really want. And within the category of self-love, there are many, many subcategories you could go into that are important to you. And that's where you choose what's important to you in each category. So for instance, within self-love, you could choose the categories like self-loving yourself and what's important to you and why when it comes to self-care. And this self-care could be things like how many times a month or how many times a week you're going to go to a spa or you're going to do a manicure, a pedicure, things like that. But also taking a step forward, which is not as glamorous, but very important to self-loving yourself and deeply caring about yourself and your welfare, which is things like self-health, such as setting appointments for your GYN, setting appointments for doctors, dentists, and anything like that for nourishing your health and taking care of yourself physically. And mentally, you could set goals, self-mental goals such as meditation, prayer, whatever it's important to you. And then another submodality could be self-pleasuring that I like. Self-pleasuring doesn't have to be just that kind of self-pleasuring. It could be self-pleasuring such as anything that really brings you pleasure, that really makes you feel a little dedicant and sensual and sexy, such as besides that type of self-pleasure, you can also do things such as decide once a month you're going to indulge and have some dedicant dessert or ice cream or something and just really sit down and really enjoy it and flavor it and taste it and just really enjoy being with yourself without feeling guilty for what you're doing, just going for it. Another thing could be going away on a vacation or a trip by yourself, going away for the weekend, going away for a day trip by yourself, something that brings you true, authentic pleasure and you've always wanted to do. You could schedule that in. Remember, ink it in. Another thing you can do is anything that is for health, self-health, such as working out, how many times a week or how many and then schedule it, ink it out, join the gym and do it, and how many times a week you're going to do, so just lay it out. So diet, lifestyle, movement, anything that is to empower you, make you feel better about yourself and make you really tap in yourself. Also inner self-loving, inner child work, such as really tap into your inner little girl within you, your inner mini me. So that's another subcategory. How many times a day or how many times a week you're going to tap into the little girl and talk to her and reassure her and make love to your little girl within and really tell how much you love her and really have that connection. So it's all the different areas that you do, goals. This works for all those areas. But in addition, once you pick the self-love and once we start working self-love, which is what we're talking about today, then the subcategories within self-love, like I said, self-nurturing, self-care, self-health, you know, body, mental, like body movement, exercise, diet, everything. So, but again, do it from a standpoint of maybe lighting a candle, just focusing on it, on what you really want from within. That way you add the leverage you want, because that's what will make goals stick. So set the goal, clear goals in the positive, that are realistic to some extent, but will really push you over the edge and really get you inspired and motivated, and huge, huge leverage of what it is you really want and why. And that will get you the goals. So remember, this year and beyond, from now on, we are committed as the Self Love Diva tribe. We are committed to self love, loving ourselves, nurturing ourselves, and being our MVP, being our own most valuable person, because we are. And that's what I want for you. Love you. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please give a thumbs up, like, share, and comment. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so now. Also, below is a link to my free ebook. You could grab it, it's free, and it has extraordinary exercises and tidbits and strategies to transform your life from ordinary to extraordinary. A life worth living and celebrating, and that's what I want for every one of you. So grab the book now. Love and kisses. Till next time. Bye.